concerts. You haven't been to many,
Uh-uh.
but I have.
Yep.
So here's fucking stories.
Yeah. I gotta say, that's our best intro. It's really quick.
Keep it quick, to the point. But yeah, man, I used to frequent concerts quite a bit. Not so much anymore, because poor foot.
Yep.
But I didn't even go to the one that I won free tickets to. Well, that fucking sucks.
All right.
But anyway, I did used to go to plenty, and as a result, I've accrued a selection of stories to tell today about shit that I videoed and witnessed myself personally at these concerts. Some of them involving me, some of them not. But the point is, let's start with a local one. I live in a particular part of Texas, or we live in a particular part of Texas that is renowned, especially in the metal community, for being excessively aggressive during concerts. So much so that bands of renown themselves have said before starting, the concert, hey man, we've heard the rumors. Can we all fucking please chill and not kill each other here? And still things go haywire. Mm-hmm. But the point is, I was going to a Manson concert, Marilyn Manson concert here locally. This was around 2008, 6, I don't know, somewhere around there. It was supposed to be the farewell tour, but of course it wasn't. But
Before
anyway,
it went insane.
This was years ago. But we went to this concert, and first of all, they herd us in because we get there early, and trying to get good spots, up front next to the fucking stage. And they herd us in early, and already there's plenty of people there, as expected. So they have us sit down, in the pit area. And I'm like, oh, this is unusual. And the security guards are being kind of assholes about it, like everybody just sit down. If you need to go piss, ask permission, etc. It's like, what the fuck is this, an internment camp? Anyway, as I sit down, I notice that the floor is not fucking floor. In fact, it's these interlocking plastic tiles, and they're shifting, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So I pick one of them up, and there's ice underneath.
All right.
Because the next day was the fucking ice capades.
All right.
And I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well, because if you've ever been in a pit, especially a metal pit that gets pretty, intense.
I have been, almost died.
It's hot in there, and you're always vying for your spot. You're always, on alert because, actual mosh pits might start, slam dancing, whatever, you're always on alert. And it's hot. Add to that fucking moisture up the ass, and you got a problem. So I'm like, this is not going to be good. So anyway, they make us wait, and they start prepping the stage for the opening acts. So the guards, they don't even fucking get to say anything. They just barely motion with their hands for everybody to move forward, and there's like a onslaught of fucking people, like a fucking stampede of human cattle going up forward. And the moment I start rushing up, I run into a wall of pure butt stench. Like, fuck, man. First of all, generally speaking, metalheads tend to be unwashed masses.
Yeah. Add
Add to that dampness from fucking ice.
and like sitting.
And you got a bouquet of cola.
them musty bees were freaking split open by the sitting too.
Man, it was not good. But anyway, once I fucking, cut a swath through the scent,
Split the seas.
I actually made it up to the front, up to the railing, and I just hooked myself onto the railing, right? And we went through the opening act. It was a band called Slunt, which is pretty cool. And then there was the wait between the act and Manson. Now, if you've ever been to a Manson concert, I've been to a few, the motherfucker's never on time. All right? It's rare that he's on fucking... Apparently, Alice Cooper's the only person that can get him on time. But anyway...
Which is
weird. But anyway, the point is, he's never on fucking time, so you always have to wait. And people were already impatient. And it was getting fucking hectic up in that bitch. People were chanting. People were booing. People were pushing every fucking second. Everybody wanted to be in the middle, which, by the way, I was like in the middle, basically, hanging onto that rail. People were just pushing non-stop to get to the middle. Waves of crowd surfers kicking. Not peaceful crowd surfers usually, because, no, not in our town. They need to fucking kick and punch the whole way. And you're like, serious, dude? I don't want fucking boots raining on my head. Anyway, this is happening the whole time. I'm like, dude, Manson, just fucking come out. And I've already seen this show in Phoenix beforehand. Like, I don't know, like 2-3 days maybe beforehand, 4 days maybe, I don't know. Had already seen this exact show, so I'm thinking I could just fucking leave. But no, I want to fucking see the show, and I'm with another friend that hadn't seen the show, so I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking tough it out, baby. So I'm getting rained down by boots and jackasses. First thing that happens is that there's so many people crowd surfing and kicking and punching that my friend that's with me gets pissed. And instead of helping these people along, he just starts punching them in the balls if they're guys, which they usually were, and then throwing them out because we're so close to the. I mean, I'm right up against the rail. He's right behind me. We just throw him over, into where the guards are posted at. And if the guards catch them, cool for them. If they don't, fuck that shit. And at one point, there were so many people crowd surfing that the guards didn't even give a fuck anymore. They were just like, fuck, they're gonna drop, So we're like, good. But worse than that, Manson is still back there. I don't know what, jacking off his little dingling or something. That people are so impatient. But these fuckers that are right next to us, we live right next to the border, okay?
Yeah.
And these fuckers from Mexico, again, before that's taken any other way, we're Mexican ourselves. But the point is,
these little Mexican turds.
Yeah, these fuckers from Mexico, actually from Mexico, are standing right next to us. And the whole fucking time, I get it. You're excited for Manson. That's cool. I'm a little excited too. But fuck. These fuckers the whole time. No mames, way. Manson way. Now, if you want me to translate that, I'm not gonna, because it fucking sucks. Suffice it to say, they were excited for Manson, and they couldn't shut the fuck up about it non-stop. So I'm hearing this piping in my fucking dome 24-7.
Why are you there multiple days?
Yeah. And I'm like, fucking shit, man. These fuckers won't shut the hell up. Anyway, the fucking lights finally hit. And I already know how this concert is going to start. Like I said, I've already seen it before. And there's this swinging lantern and some like kind of moaning, right? And I'm like, oh, it started. And everybody gets the hint. This is it. This is Manson. So everybody starts cheering. And I can still hear these assholes, despite their music starting to pipe in, no mames, way Manson. I'm like, son of a bitch. So the moment I see a light shine on them where they're at, and people are moving a lot more now, I let go of the railing, take that risk, let go of the railing, and just fucking like drive my shoulder into that dude's neck.
You do a Randy Savage.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not going to say that this guy disappeared onto the crowd, but he fucking did.
So you might have murdered someone.
Might have. But, yeah, fuck that shit, man.
No mames, way.
Ah, fuck. Anyway, this concert was fucking wild. How wild? The moment I let go of that railing, I was doomed. I should not have let go of that railing. Doomed. Why? Because everybody wants to be in front. So now that Manson's out there, everybody's moving back and forth. Now this is commonplace in metal concerts, but I'm talking some movement here. Like, I am literally perpendicular to the fucking ground at one point. Dude, I'm like going like this, and I'm a pretty heavy guy, so I'm like, holy shit, how am I... But you're just part of this wave of humanity,
Gravity doesn't exist
anymore. Your feet are not touching the floor, and you freak out naturally.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the people themselves will move you. It's like, fuck, I'm not touching the fucking ground. So this starts happening, and I'm like, holy shit. Then the crush of people gets fucking insane. Okay, and I've been, before you call me, oh, you just haven't been in the metal. I've been in the pit, bitch. The point is, this motherfucking place is chaotic.
You've been to concerts here in this area also.
Yeah.
This one was
special,
level,
fucking shit. Anyway, I'm like, holy shit, I can't even fucking stand. And I like to see the show, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm like, I can't even fucking keep focus on fucking anything. What is going on here? Anyway, somehow, somewhere along the way, when Manson starts singing the stuff that not everybody knows, I should say the ones that are just not like, oh, beautiful people, I know that one. The other stuff on his albums.
Yeah.
When he goes into those, the crowd kind of calms down a little. And I'm like, oh, good, cool, I can stand for once. Anyway, this is happening, and this chick in front of me, she looks uncomfortable at first, which, I mean, I don't blame her. She's like this fucking tall, and it's pretty fucked up in there. But I noticed why eventually she's uncomfortable. And there's this dude that looks like the fucking the Big Lebowski, or not the Big Lebowski, but the dude himself. He's smoking, a toke, but it seems to me like he's getting a little grabby. Now I can't really tell because everybody's pressed up against each other. But during a lull in the music, she smushes her way up against me and she goes, "Could you get between me and this guy?" And I have to kind of bend down and hear her because it's all fucking loud in there. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's what's going on." So I get in between, and this fucking dude starts hating. Like, bitch, you weren't getting any fucking action.
Nope.
Why are you hating, old ass geezer? Anyway, that fucking sucked. The point is, I was gonna tough it out. I was gonna be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be in between this dude. I'm gonna get me at least some appreciation out of this at the end of this concert.
Definitely no action.
Definitely no. Well, actually, I'll get to that. But anyway, my point is, I'm gonna tough this motherfucker out. Now, in the midst of this, as I said, everybody's crammed together. She reaches back and she puts my arm around her midriff, and I'm like, well, that's pretty weird. But if you want to stay up, maybe that makes sense, right? So I'm basically grabbing this chick like this, and I'm like, this is kind of cool, I can dig this. Looks like it's gonna be going somewhere, possibly, right? Well, it doesn't matter because eventually the crush of fucking people gets to me, and I'm starting to feel lightheaded as fuck, and I'm like, oh man, it's pretty cool when everything's fucking fuzzy all of a sudden. And I actually have to pussy out the first and only time I pussied out of the fucking pit. And I, kind of get down to her height and I say, hey, I gotta go. And she's like, oh shit, really? And I'm like, yeah, I gotta fucking go. So I do the amateur thing, but really it's part I'm not thinking and part I don't want to. I start cutting through the crowd backwards, which is not gonna happen when everybody's pushing forwards. So I'm kind of shoving my way through, and I get to this pit area, like a circle pit area, and these dudes stop me and they're like, hey man, what's wrong? Either I look like shit or they were genuinely like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I need to get out, man. I fucking feel like shit. And they're like, we'll surf you forward. And I'm like, dude, I'm like 6 billion pounds, fucking breaking arms and shit. And I'm like, no, just let me through. And they're like, you sure? Yeah, man. So I get the fuck out. I get out there. I finally get some fresh fucking air. And I'm like, oh, yes. This is good. I look to my side and there's this black dude. And he's drinking a beer. And he's like, hey, man, you want some? And I'm like, yes, please, anything to hydrate me, quote unquote, even though it's alcohol. And, I drink it and I give it back to him. And as I give it back to him, he looks forward and there's all these images on the screens behind Manson flashing. And, he makes a lot of political statements in his music sometimes. So they're showing pictures of like George Bush and Stalin and, Hitler. And that's the moment that the guy turns and he's like, what the fuck does that mean? And I'm like, it's complicated, but it's not what you're thinking. And he's like, oh, all right. And I'm like, well, that was fucking weird. Anyway, I went into the stands and ate a pretzel. So that was pretty good.
All right.
But that's not even close to chaotic. That's just me pussying out because I couldn't handle it. And it was a crush. But here's one that I saw that mystifies me to this fucking day. It was during the concert for Amon Amarth. And the opening act was Himza. Pretty awesome concert. I've told the Himza story. And the other one are embarrassing stories. And it was still embarrassing and still embarrasses me to this day. But while enjoying the concert, I noticed that there's this guy that we called him, well, I'll spare you the first word, but we called him the Indian, okay? And I'll clarify what the first word is before you go, what the hell? We called him the Indian because he looked like a Native American, Not a cool Native American.
All right.
Not the badass tomahawks and fucking buffaloes and shit.
He was about to kill the predator.
No, he's definitely not killing predators and or getting killed by them.
He's actually the guy who...
He's just a fucking guy.
He's the guy that played that guy now, a.k.a. In the Ground.
He's the guy that hits the peace pipe way too much.
Oh, okay.
And then, munches out.
It was stanky.
He was a fat Indian looking guy. Anyway. And I'm like... and that just goes to show, there was a variety of people at this concert, but for some reason this guy caught my eye. I was like, look at that weird guy right there. It's just weird looking. He was a weird looking guy. Anyway. So the concert starts and I'm like, all right, the Indian guy, fat Indian guy's over there, and every now and then I'll glance over as the crush of the crowd is gliding me around the pit. I look over and I catch eye of the Indian guy. But then something begins to happen. The next thing I notice is Indian guy's not wearing a shirt. Now I don't know if you've been in a pit, but you're literally fucking skin to skin with people. So not wearing a shirt is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's, first of all, super anti-hygienic. Second, what the fuck, man? Put on a fucking shirt. It's already sweaty as shit in here.
This dude was hot. He had to get a little breather.
He was hot, but he was not hot. So as a result, a little like sphere of protection was around him.
People were like,
we want to be next to this fat Indian guy. So anyway, that's the first thing I noticed, right? A little time passes, I look over again. He's not wearing fucking pants!
all right.
Correction, he had shorts on, but he wasn't wearing them anymore. Now, he's wearing underwear before anybody said anything. But I'm like, what the hell is it? First of all, how does this happen in the fucking crowd? Now, people are staying away from it, but you still have to bend over and shit to take your pants off.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? And again, the little sphere of influence of protection is around it. And I'm like, what is this guy? So the word that I didn't mention before is we called him the naked Indian guy because he was literally a guy who looked like an Indian and was naked by the end of the fucking concert. Now, again, I stress, not completely naked. He had underwear on. But still, to this day, the fuck was he naked for? Anyway.
Maybe it was a strategy to get some space.
Yeah, well, it fucking worked because I wasn't getting up next to the bastard, man. Fuck. Yeah. Anyway, this is another story, and it was at an Arch Enemy concert. And Arch Enemy is one of my favorite bands, so I was like, fuck yes, bitch. Super excited is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, when they finally come up, I'm like, fuck yeah, I made my way up to the front fucking row. I'm latched on. It's on like Donkey Kong. This is the unfortunate fallout of this was that I was next to a row of chicks. You know, like I think like four or five of them. For sure 4, maybe 5. Okay? And I saw a situation here that could have mirrored the Manson situation. As in, sometimes in the pit, you're like, hey man, I'll get between you and this guy if he's being, you know, whatever, right? And sometimes that can lead to shit, which is cool. But I saw this situation. I'm like, I think this is one of those times. I think I better step up here and do a little something. So I'm already prepping in my head to stand in and go, hey, this dude, you know. It sounds like white knighting, but it's not. It's legitimate. Like, it can happen, you know. You're like, hey, what's up with this? But anyway, what I'm saying here is there's this dude behind them. And, you know, he's like maybe in his mid-20s and lots of fucking piercings on his face. He had snake bites right here. That's important. He had snake bites right here. And, you know, he's making his way down the row and over again. And I could see the discomfort in these chicks' faces. And after a while, it becomes evident that what he's doing is he's groping these chicks every chance he gets once the crush of the crowd gets tight enough. So I'm like, all right, now I've decided in my head, I'm going to step in and do something about this, right? So I'm about to do that, you know, because part of me still wants to just see the concert.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm about to do that, dude. Oh, first of all, let me tell you something about this venue. This venue is in Albuquerque. And for some reason, here's the pit, right? Let's say this is the pit area right here. And here's the stage. Like, this is the stage right here. For some reason, the first, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 to 6 feet is right here. And then there's a drop-off into the rest of the pit. I don't know why, because you can fall easily with that. But there is. That's just the way the venue's built, but whatever. Anyway, so just keep that in mind, okay? So I'm there. I start to maneuver my body over so I could get between this dude, the assaulter, if you will, and these chicks. And I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to go like, hey, is there, you know, can I help out here? But before I even get to utter a single syllable, the bitch that's right next to me, and I say bitch in the good way, like she's a bad bitch. The bitch right next to me, I guess finally had it. She was up to here, fed up. And she turns around and she shoves this dude. Now, there's not a lot of space to move. But she shoves this dude and people fucking clear out behind him. And he falls over that little stoop area. And he falls on the floor. And this chick pounces on him. Whack!
Like Wolverine.
Rips out the fucking snake bites.
Woo.
And she's just clawing like a fucking feral cat. Like this.
Wolverine.
And, dude, there was fucking blood flying everywhere and shit. I was like, what the hell is this? Then, like clockwork, the people close around the dude, pick him up and surf him to the back.
All right.
And I'm like, damn. Well, fuck. There goes my role in that shit.
Yep.
I ain't getting jack shit out of that. Anyway, after Arch Enemy was done, I was done. Even though Monster Magnet was after that. And I was like, can't just watch Arch Enemy. I'm done with this concert. because that's what I wanted to see. I go outside and yeah, go outside like this, and me and a friend, we come across Charlie D'Angelo from Arch Enemy, the bassist, and he's just standing out there in front of the venue. So I'm like, holy fucking shit. Now, mind you, we've just bought tons of merch. So we walk out, the fucking merch guy tells Charlie D'Angelo, these fucking dudes just bought a bunch of merch. So they come up and he comes up and, you know, basically is like, you fucking dudes kick ass, thanks for the purchases, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, I'm so starstruck because, again, Arch Enemy is one of my favorite fucking bands that I completely forget who I fucking am. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Woo. And he goes, so you like Arch Enemy? Why aren't you seeing Monster Magnet? I'm like, oh, we really just wanted to see you guys. And he's like, oh, you like us that much, huh? And he goes, what's my name? Ooh. Dude, I have never blanked out harder in my life.
And we do these videos pretty often.
Yeah. You know what my answer was? Arch Enemy?
Oh, no!
Talk about fucking cringe, man. Woo! Anyway.
No, there is photographic proof of this meeting, and it's as pathetic as that little tale.
I did get my shirt signed, so that's cool. Yeah. But anyway, fuck! This is some fucking concert stories.
You know what, though? You did have some pretty epic concert stories. My personal favorite concert story of yours that you didn't even tell.
No, do tell which one.
And that is the epically long George Strait concert.
Son of a bitch. Okay, yeah, in the 90s, I used to frequent a lot of country concerts.
This is a quick one. This is a quick one.
And here's the thing. I like country, you know? Well, correction. I like cool country.
Real country.
Not this. And the 90s, there was still country that was commercially available that was still cool.
Yeah,
nowadays, ever since the late 2000s forward, ever since the late 90s forward, country has fucking sucked my dick dry, and it licks, and I hate it. Pop country should die. But anyway, back in the 90s, there was some cool acts, and I used to frequent them a lot with my older brother. One of the acts we went to go see was George Strait. George Strait's pretty cool. I like George Strait. Here's the thing. George Strait is a seasoned vet of the fucking field.
Yeah.
He has bazillion songs.
Way too many.
And, so we went to the tour, and he's known for stripped-down concerts. He doesn't like the flash. He doesn't like the pizzazz. He's not a Garth Brooks type.
Just a guy standing there.
He's just a guy standing there. And that's cool. That's the pure music. But there's a limit to that. You know what I'm saying? There's only so much of a guy just standing there you can watch.
And you got to be like a certain coolness level to pull that off sometimes. Like Johnny Cash, I would watch him play for like hours. George Strait?
Even that would get, there's just, what I'm saying here is there's a limit. No matter how good you are, there's a limit of just standing there and playing songs. Eventually, it's like, oh man, this is kind of, So anyway, the concert we got in the venue. There wasn't even an opening act, if I remember correctly. There might have been, but if there was, I don't fucking remember. The point is the concert fucking starts around 8-ish. Okay? And we watch this fucker play. And basically the stage is, his band is below in a pit area. And he's on the stage. And there's 4 sides to the stage. And he's going from one side to the other, to the other, to the other, singing into a microphone. And that's the concert. Alright, cool. These are cool little hits and shit. But here's the thing. George Strait has a lot of hits. And he also has a lot of songs. And 8 goes by. 9 goes by. 10 goes by. 11 goes by. And I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's still going. Cool. Everybody's getting bang for their buck.
Yeah.
That's nice. But it got so long that my older brother's like, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's go. Not disgusted, just let's go.
Like, we got our fill.
So we're driving back, and this was in New Mexico, so we have to drive all the way back to Texas. And on the way, we're hearing a station that's playing the concert. Mm-hmm. We get back in town, or I should say back into the Texas area, and the fucking concert is still fucking playing on the fucking radio, and it's 2 a.m., and I'm like, holy fucking shit! And it looks like it's not going to finish anytime soon.
Definitely not. He's just got a second wind.
So here's the thing. Apparently, George Strait never retired. He's still fucking playing somewhere in New Mexico.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway.
That I always found hilarious. I do have a couple tales, but they're not as good. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll do it in another video.
There's certainly other tales to tell, and we will tell those tales soon. Anyway, this has been some concert tales with Tails and Sonic.
All right.
With Ahab and Goontick. Hit like, share, subscribe, and those notification buttons because we're out.